So today is the 4th of July, and on this special occasion, I decided to make my middle school experiences video because I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, and today seems like a special day, and we're gonna do it. And in the spirit of 4th of July, I'm wearing blue pants, and I will put on this red headband for you because, you know, it's so spirity. Yes. Okay. And for the spirit of my middle school experiences, I'm wearing my gin in 8th grade sweatshirt. So I don't like this headband. I'm gonna take it off. But I'm wearing my blue pants, and that's all that matters. So let's get started. I also have a flag back there. Yeah. Okay, let's get started. Okay, middle school, great experience. I loved it, and like everybody was amazing. All my friends, all my teachers, they were great, and they seriously cared about me, and they really supported my decisions. So let's, first of all, a tip for middle school and all you fellow Janinians: if you are scared or nervous about starting a new school and meeting new people and like getting adapted to middle school life, don't be scared at all. If you are going to GNE in the following year, like you're becoming a sixth grader, then you have nothing to worry about. Everybody is so supportive, and they will just accept you into their loving arms that we call what I like to call the Janini bond, and like everybody will just get along so well. I mean, there are a few people that they don't get along with people that easily, but you have nothing to worry about that. If you have a group of close friends, then you should be fine. You'll make new ones, and everybody will love you. Just be yourself. I let my true self rip through my, that sounds weird, I let my true self rip through my 6th grade shy body. Okay, anyway, let's get started with 6th grade. 6th grade was really weird, and I loved it. I started out as a shy little loser who was very, very chubby and very short and just a loser in general. I was very quiet. I didn't like talking. I did not like making new friends. Making friends is something that's very hard for me because I make things really awkward. Like in the Masida Thaya and the Ings video, like those people I worked so hard to become friends with, and like it's still awkward with them sometimes, except for like Morgan and Darren, because I am really close to, but with Hiroki it's really, really awkward, and I am awkward with a lot of other people as well. I'm just awkward in general. So yeah, but I was very shy, and I just hated talking to people. Whenever someone was like, whenever a teacher was like, Michelle, I would just stutter my way into answering a question, and it was very hard for me to adapt. But then as the middle school days got like longer, and like you just keep coming back to school and stuff, I pretty much got used to the ways. Like everything in 6th grade and 7th is a blur to me right now, so just bear with me, please. So 6th grade was once I broke through my initial shock of starting a new school and becoming a new me, I just went along with it, and I guess I kind of made new friends. Yeah. During my first days of 6th grade, I would eat alone at lunchtime with like a book or a granola bar because I did not have money to buy lunches. So it's either I had a lunch with me that I brought from home, or it was just a lumpy granola bar that I fished out of my backpack, because like sometimes I forget my money and like stuff like that. But lunchtime was a very lonely experience for me, along with 5th period gym in the beginning, because I did not know anybody and I could not find any of my friends from elementary school, and I just sat alone reading, and sometimes my only companion would be the vice principal back then and the principal now, Mr. Reichel. He would be my only companion, and it was only for like a couple minutes when he asked what book I was reading that day, and I would just say like something like Nancy Drew or The Babysitter's Club, and he would be like, oh, that's a classic, and then he would just walk away. This continued on for like a few weeks before I found Saleen and Olivia, who you know as my best friends now. They just welcomed me back into our little group, and I finally had some people I had something in common with, and they would just love me. So besides being really lonely at lunch, I was also very lonely during 5th period gym. I remember walking around in circles counting, like I would do math problems in my head because that is one subject that I'm really bad at still, and I would just do math problems in my head while walking around in a circle. And I would remember seeing this group of 4 people, and they would be having so much fun, and I just felt so jealous that they met each other so quickly and became friends. And now that group is also some of my closest friends now. That group was Jasmine, Sydney, who I talked about in my previous video, my best friends video, and also Michael C. and Emily Y. I remember hating her back then, but now it's all good. We love it. We're really good friends. I love her to bits. She's my human, and I'm the dinosaur to her human, because when she hugs me, I go like this, like a dinosaur. And Michael Choi, I thought he was really weird, but then I got closer to him, and now we're pretty good friends. And like, yeah, he introduced me to Michelle Pham, and this is like, yeah, thank God for Michael. So, and the thing is that Michael, Sydney, Jasmine, and I were in Miss Whitney's 3rd period band together, and that's how I also sort of connected with them, through band. But anyway, they invited me to play freestyle with them one day, and we just became close. It was great. I finally got new friends that I could talk with during my lonely times, and it was just awesome. The thing is that if you, in middle school, if you have a teacher that you thought did not teach at all, and was just a bad teacher in general, I think you should just talk to your parents about it and like go to your counselor and just tell them and try to transfer out of that class, because if you're not learning anything, you will not get any knowledge whatsoever, and you will just suffer in that subject. I'm telling you this now because I had a teacher who did not teach me anything, and back then in 6th grade, I was fine about it. I was like, oh, hey, this teacher doesn't teach that much. It's great. But now that I think about it, I had that same teacher in 8th grade because he also taught 8th grade, and he did not teach at all, and I'm just like, ugh, I wish I got the guts up to transfer out of that class, because like that subject was the subject I suffered the most in, because I really suck at math, and like I'm starting high school and I'm just really scared now. I'm reviewing by myself, and like I just wish I got the guts to transfer out of that classroom, because I seriously did not learn anything whatsoever. I'm not saying that he's a bad teacher. I mean, he tells you stuff, but I just don't think his methods was right for me at all. So yeah, that's a tip. If you think you have a teacher that did not teach you at all, transfer out immediately. Yeah. So besides that, 6th grade was really fun because I got to go on some field trips with my homeroom class, because she's really cool and she had a dog named Teddy, and like it was just a great environment. One thing I remember about 6th grade was that I was obsessed with Harry Potter, and people would tease me all the time about it. Like, there's this one time where my teacher was reading this excerpt from something, and the word Harry Potter came up, and everybody turned around to look at me, and I was just like, what? And then they just turned back around after staring for like a few minutes. But yeah, I got used to people thinking I was a Harry Potter nerd, so I just ignored them, and from that experience, I became friends with a lot of those people who thought I was a dork. And I remember that, yeah, that experience was kind of weird, but kind of interesting at the same time, because I really liked explaining Harry Potter to people, because, you know, they're uncultured and they need to know the importance of Harry Potter in my life. Speaking of some people that I've met from that experience, is three very important people in my life now. They have made such a big impact on me, and those people are Morgan. You know her from my previous video, my best friend, and she really helped me. She really likes Harry Potter herself, and we just bonded over that. Another person was Sam. He is the sweetest guy ever. I love him to bits, and we kind of drifted throughout the years, but in 6th grade we were really close, and we just really bonded over Harry Potter as well, and he made me some drawings, and I still have them, and it's great. And the last person is Humberto, who I also bonded over about Harry Potter, and us three, we would just like test each other. Us four, we would test each other about Harry Potter and stuff, and I would win all the time. We would have like duels and stuff. We joined Pottermore together. It was great. But I also had some weird experiences about Harry Potter as well in 6th grade, because some of the people who teased me about them, I remember one of them very vividly being Stanley. People already know this, but I had the biggest crush on him back then. Stanley, if you didn't know, I'm sorry. But I had the biggest crush on him ever, and he would tease me all the time about Harry Potter, and he would make fun of me for it, and I don't know why, but that made me like him more. So yeah, that's another person I met through my love of Harry Potter, and that's it. So other things in 6th grade. 6th grade was also the time I met my band fam. Okay, the thing is that beginning band was split into 2 classes, one during 3rd and one during 5th, and I had the 3rd period one. And like, I hated band in 6th grade. I hated it. I thought Miss Whitney was super mean. I'm sorry. I love her now because she was our mother hen, but now, back then, I just didn't like her because I thought she yelled at everybody too much, and I thought she would ridicule me when back then I played the clarinet still, and my pinkies are double jointed, so I couldn't press the lower keys. So whenever she tells the clarinet section to play a low note, I could not do it, and she would call me up to the front of the class, and I would just embarrass myself so much. But I've grown to love my band family, and now I don't think they're annoying anymore. I think they're just the funniest group of people, and I love them. And that's about it for the classes. Now, for another thing in my 6th grade experience was that I had the most drastic haircut in existence. I cut my hair up to about right here. Yeah. And I still had my Asian bangs, and it was horrible. People called my friend Emily, she nicknamed me Asian Dora, because my hair was just like a straight cut bob, and I just looked horrible. But the thing is that I donated my hair to Locks of Love. You should do that too, because it's awesome to help people. So yeah, but I had the worst haircut in all of existence, and I was just so embarrassed. So that's about it for my 6th grade experience. By the end of 6th grade, you'll get attached to the people, and you'll learn a lot more about middle school. Yeah, that's it for 6th grade, and let's move on to 7th. Okay, so 7th grade sucked ass. That's all I have to say. When you ask most people how they think, well, with me, my experience about asking people how they thought about middle school, and most of them was like, oh, I hated 7th grade. I agree with you. 7th grade was horrible. I hated it so much. I just wish the year was over. I mean, there were some good moments, but not that many. 7th grade, just so much drama, and I hated it. As you know, I'm really bad with handling drama, and I just did not like it at all. It's like, so you have the band tests, and then you have the struggle of math. I mean, at least my math teacher was good this year in 7th grade. My math teacher was awesome. It's just I failed a test, and it would bring my grade down so low, and I would just get so stressed. And then you have projects for my social studies class. I loved social studies. It's just the projects were so many, and I could not finish some of them in time. I just had to stay up super late, and I just had to finish. And then I just hated it. The drama was so bad, and it sucked. A thing that I would like to mention, though, is that maybe it wouldn't suck for you if you just did everything differently than what I did. I took 7th grade not as seriously as I took 6th grade. I thought I was going to have a fine, smooth year. I was wrong. 7th grade just... So 7th grade was the year I transferred to saxophone, and I embarrassed myself so many times in band that year. I would open my case in the middle of the hallway. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, what is wrong with you, Michelle? You do not do that. I would play my sax without an extra, and I had problems. I had so many problems. I still had that disgusting haircut, and it grew out longer, and like, it was still disgusting because I had the bangs. 7th grade was also the year that me and my friend got into a giant argument, and now she's my acquaintance because things happened and she's an asshole. I'm sorry, but you're still cool sometimes, I guess. But 7th grade sucked ass. In that time, I would be taken for granted, and I just hated it. I met some great people, but it just sucked so much that year. I would cry every single day. Like, you wouldn't see it, but like I just would. Let's start with first period. First period band, as I said before, I embarrassed myself so many times. I just hated myself during that time. I was so grateful for the bell that rang, that signaled the end of first period, I would be so glad. I mean, it got better as the year went on, but in the beginning it was just horrific, and I just seriously felt like crying every time I walked into band. Like, 7th grade was horrible. I hated it. But then things got better, and like I got better at the sax, and it was fine, smooth as the year ended. It's just in the beginning and the middle, I just did not want to be there. I'm sorry. I love you guys now, but I just hated myself in bed. It was, what else? 2nd period, gym. I don't exercise. What are you doing? Like, I can't do those things. I would be teased for putting in the lowest muscle group because I sucked at like push-ups and stuff. I still do. I suck at sit-ups. I suck at all those. I'm only good at like hula hooping. I mean, I'm a pretty good runner, I would like to say. If I just pace myself, sometimes when I run too quickly, I would just lose my breath and like die. Yeah, but gym was okay. My teacher was great. And then the 3rd period, I had math, which I kind of enjoyed because my teacher made fun of people and it was really funny. But like the tests, sometimes I didn't listen enough in class and I just failed so bad. But then I managed to get my grade up in time and it's fine. But math was one of the subjects that I enjoyed in 7th grade, which I can't believe I'm saying. And then lunchtime was the only time that I just could enjoy myself and be myself. And then the afternoon classes were just okay. Like, you would have language arts, which was really boring, but 5th period language arts was the best because my class would tease our teacher about this little love triangle going on, and it was just really funny because I think she's 17, is still scared of Audrey a little bit. Yeah. And then you have social studies, which was really fun, but like the projects were just so stressful, and I could not manage to get an A in that class. I only got B's because my teacher graded so highly. Like my projects were crap compared to his grading level, but I thought they were pretty good actually. But I managed to get an A that one time. But then that class was also when I met some of my best friends now, like Bella and Elizabeth Shearer and every time I think of 7th grade history, I would think of my horrible table. I just hated that table so much. I was grateful to have one other sane person there. So, in the middle of the year, Mr. Towski moved seats, and my table was Max Webster, who I am friends with now. I just thought he was really annoying back then. I'm sorry, Max, if you're watching this, but seriously, dude, no. So you would have Max. I sat next to Max, and Max sat across from Mandy, who hated my guts. So like I started hating her too. So it was just like a bunch of trash talk back and forth. And she sat next to Hiroki, who I mentioned like 5 times already in this video, I think. But she sat next to Hiroki, who sat across from me, and then me and him were like the only sane people at that table. I'm sorry, Max, once again. But like there was just a bunch of trash talking going on in that entire table, and I thoroughly hated it. I mean, sometimes there were times when I laughed my head off and I turned bright red, but that was still when I had the drastic haircut and I just couldn't deal with myself, okay? Yeah, but that was also when I met Max and Hiroki. Oh no, I met Max in 6th grade. Okay, never mind. But yeah, that's how I made friends with 2 of some of the most important people in my life now. Let's see. And then 7th period was science, which that was the only class in the entire 6th 6 classes that I kind of enjoyed because Olivia was in it and I had fun. Mr. Johnson was a tall, nice, awkward teacher, and his awkwardness reminded myself of me because like I'm pretty awkward, as you can tell. But that was the only class I enjoyed that year, and like I don't. Yeah. That's all I have to say about 7th grade. It's just, it sucked so bad. Oh, the drama. I forgot to tell you about the drama. The drama would be revolved around me and the boy I liked, which I told you was Stanley. People already know about this, but I'm just gonna be brave and say it out loud to people of the internet. I crushed on him for 2 years, too. That's how quickly I get attached to people. It's just how I roll. But like my lunch group, it was not me, Saleen, Olivia, and Chloe at the time. It was me, Saleen, Olivia, Chloe, Creed, like Stanley Huang, and like Henry. I think it was Henry. No, it wasn't Henry. It was like Ryan Chow and like Chris Reapin and some other people. It was just a big group, and it was so crowded, and I hated it. Oh, but the good thing is that by the end of the year we moved lunch spots, and we ended up on a bench next to a group of guys who I now enjoy bothering. One person exactly, and that's Erickson, aka bestie number like 17. But yeah, that was the only good part, was that we moved spots so we would be less crowded as heck. But the drama was so bad. Like, people found out about my crush, and it just spread around a lot of people, and I just got my heart broken back then. That's all the drama that was in that. Okay, let's move on to 8th grade, aka the best year of my life so far. 8th grade. 8th grade was the best year so far of my 13 years of life. At first you think everything is going to be really hard, but it's actually really easy and smooth. So actually my 8th grade year, it was pretty easy and smooth in the beginning, like from August to December, and then after that it was pretty stressful because I had my band things to do, like CMEA, ensemble, I had my historian book to finish, and then for math I needed to get my crap up, and I just needed to focus because I needed to take that test for high school, the placement test. So it was pretty stressful for me, but then after all that was over, it was easy, it was fun. I had field trips and stuff, and then graduation was really fun too. But then like 8th grade, I'm really gonna miss because it was literally the best year of my middle school experience, and I hope it's gonna be the best year of your experience too. The people are the same, except the 6th graders got really tiny and stuff. And the thing is that you're ruling the entire school because you're the top dogs, and you just rule. But the thing is, if you go to Giannini and you're in band and you're in symphonic and everything, then things are gonna be pretty stressful, because if you don't play a jazz instrument, then you need to do ensemble to get an A. And if you're good at your instrument and you find a group that does everything perfectly, you're fine. But if you do something and you don't practice enough, you're gonna fail so hard, and you're gonna get so stressed, and you're just gonna be really bad for the judge, in front of the judges, and your grade is going to go down. And I thought that was gonna happen, but no, my group actually did okay. So what you need to do is just focus with what you're doing and stuff, because literally it's going to be fine if you do everything correctly. I mean, not correct. What do I mean by correctly? I mean, like, if you do everything your way and how you think things should go, depending on how your year is going on so far. But you should not like slack off in your last year, because it everything you do will impact your high school choices and stuff. And if you're gonna graduate or not, if you are late all the time, you will not be able to, get your certificate? I'm not sure, I forgot. But, and then if you do not turn in your textbooks in on time, you will not be able to go to Great America or walk on stage. I mean, there are a lot of consequences for this kind of stuff, and thankfully for me, I never got to experience all that other stress, because I think I'm a pretty good student. But seriously, 8th grade is going to be so fun, and I really enjoyed all my classes and my classmates this year. Although I'm kind of upset that some weren't in my classes, but we got to see each other in the hallways and at lunchtime as well, so it's okay. So let's first start with my first class, because science, I got the new teacher, Miss Chain, and she is very nice, and like Mr. Johnson, they're both very awkward, and they both had to teach us about like health and stuff, and it was just really awkward. She started off with, let's talk about penis, and I was like, and then in her class I got deemed the sex ed queen, or the sex ed expert, and by because at the end of the year we were learning about health, and then I sat in this row of tables where it was just me and Haley, the only females there, and I would give them answers because we all worked together and stuff, but I was deemed sex ed expert because I'm just so smart. But yeah, science was really fun. I got to reconnect with some of my old friends, and Stanley. No, that was really awkward. Our friendship is still kind of awkward, but he's still really cool. But I also got to reconnect with Colin and Larry, Nicholas. We didn't talk as much, and then I met some new people, Esteban and Sabrina, and just a lot of new people, like Shadima. Shadima's awesome. As I said in my previous video about my best friends, a lot of those people I only met this year, and it was just great. So science was really fun, and we watched a lot of videos, we did a lot of experiments. The only thing I didn't like was having to do the science project, because for 8th graders it was optional and none of the other 8th grade classes did it besides Mr. Lizowski's. Yeah. Okay, and then second period, band. From what I told you in the 7th and 6th band experiences, 8th grade was seriously the best experience out of all of those, because I really thoroughly enjoyed band this year. The field trips were fun, the people, we all matured in some way, and we just got better at our instruments, and then we got better with our music and sight reading and stuff like that, and then we achieved a superior at CMEA, and I'm gonna see a lot of you next year to get the CMA photos because they didn't come in time, so I'm really excited about that too, because I was standing behind two very tall people, and I'm nervous how that turned out. But band was very fun this year. I was elected band historian along with Samantha and Novi, but Novi didn't do anything. I'm sorry, Novi, I still love you though. Me and Samantha worked very hard on the book, and it was awesome. So band was just great. All the people were the same, but as I said, we all matured and we're all different in sorts. We've been through a lot of ups and downs, and the 7th graders are awesome too, but everything turned out to be okay. Another thing is that, third period math I didn't like it. I met some people, and they were the best part of that, and the only good part that I liked about my math class this year was that the tablecloths that my tablecloth squad, as I said in my previous video, they named me their queen, tablecloth queen. They made me a crown and everything. That was the only part that I enjoyed, because my squad was very, very cool. And then lunch, it's the same. It was a great experience because our bench was very fun, and it was always lively, and we just couldn't. I mean, we migrated inside for the end of the year, from the middle to the end, so I never really got to sit outside anymore and socialize as much with my other friends. But it was really fun to just hang out where we like associated with for the past 3 years. So it was really fun to just hang out at lunchtimes, knowing that each day brings us closer to our last. That was really cheesy, I'm sorry. And then 5th period was one of my best periods because English is my highest point in school, because I always like achieving like high grades in English because I thoroughly enjoy it. But Mr. Myers' class was really fun because all the people in there were just crazy, and like you're down from your lunch high, so it's like mellowing out at the end, but it gets loud. Stop, quiet talking. But my Myers class, they were just great. I met some great people. My first table I really enjoyed because it was made up of me, who I think was the most mature out of that group. It was me, Elliot Rand, Luke Park, my sister-ish, Michelle number 4, and he's Michelle number 4. And then there's Eric Sun, who I met this year, and I'm grateful for that seating arrangement because they're all very special to me, and I will beat anybody up that hurts them or whatever. Though they might be annoying sometimes, but I still love them to bits. But 5th period was very fun. I got $1 from Mr. Myers for winning his What Happened to My Beard contest, and I just loved his class so much because everybody was very unique. Speaking of unique, my 6th period class was Mr. Lee's class, and it was just really fun to be in his class because he would always tease a bunch of students, and it's just really funny because he always got me confused with Wendy, who looks nothing like me, and I don't know. But it was very fun because this is the class I had with Saleen, and then my table 7th group was me, Lawrence, Saleen, Wendy, and Kevin, and they're just amazing people, and I can't believe I'm going to high school without them. But they're just really cool, and 6th period was great, although I got to skip a lot of class time at the end of the year to do band things. But yeah, 6th period was amazing. Mr. Lee is a great teacher. If the upcoming 8th graders get him next year, you are very lucky. And then last of all, gym was very fun. I met a lot of new people, as I said about my other classes as well, but gym was just super awesome. I reconciled with a preschool friend of mine, Jiayi. Yeah, apparently we've known each other for a long time, but we're just there. I had a great group. I also met like Ricky and stuff, and it was just awesome and fun. And although sometimes Mr. Papani's class was crazy chaos, everything turned out to be all right. We have had so much craziness going on in that class. Sometimes I just want to pass out. But that's the end of those classes, and I'm just really grateful that I met all those great people and had so many awesome teachers, except for my math teacher, because he sucks. But they're just awesome people, and I'm really gonna miss all this middle school stuff. I'm really gonna miss being at GNNE because their environment is so loving and safe and awesome, and I can't. And like graduation was so fun, and so are the other how do I say this, like the other activities that go on in there. It's super awesome, and the people are just so loving, and I'm like kind of tearing up. But yeah, those are my middle school experiences, and I would like to hear about yours. I'll link the links to the people who have YouTube that I have mentioned in this video, which is basically just Green, Saleen, Morgan, and like Chloe and the rest of them. But I'll link them in the down bar, and I hope you like this video. hope it wasn't too long because I make my videos too long. Okay.